would you put this Neuralink chip inside of your brain? Now that's a question for you. If you were blind, if you were in a wheelchair, if you had some form of disability, would you implant a Neuralink chip inside of your brain? Would you accept that risk? And you're probably wondering, what are you doing with one of these Neuralink chips? Who gave you? I actually personally know Elon, and I told him that I wanted to make an episode on this, and he said, sure, go ahead and make an episode. He sent one out to my address, and that is why I have one of the first Neuralink. I'm kidding. This is a totally different chip. It's not a Neuralink chip, and I have no affiliation with Elon Musk. Elon has taken on so many things. He's taken on space by making rockets and having government contracts. He's taken on electric vehicles, and now he is doing brain chips. Yes, I know he's worth $285 billion, but when did we give Elon the power to do all of these life-changing things? I'm curious. And also, what does he have credential-wise that makes him the one to push forward with all this innovative stuff? I'm curious about that. Is it because he's extremely wealthy, one of the wealthiest people in the world, that we blindly trust everything that he does? Think about that for a second. Do we make decisions based off of the amount of money that we think is successful? So somebody being worth $285 billion, we think that's a super success. So now we're going to trust them with our freaking brains. We're going to trust them with self-driving cars. We're going to trust them with going to Mars and going into space. Would you trust somebody who was broke but actually had the plans and actually had the brains to actually think of these things and do these things? I don't know, because I think in society, we look at money as success. We look at multiple businesses as success, but does it actually give people the credentials to make these type of decisions? Even though it's FDA approved, I'm curious. I continue to rack my brain, and maybe the Neuralink chip will help me make the decision where it gets installed, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, everything is so clear. ADHD went away. Let's go, Elon. Like, me personally, I don't think I would accept that risk. And I just don't believe that I maybe would have the courage to put a chip inside my brain, regardless of the benefits. But I'm curious because people tend to leave a ton of comments down below on their thoughts on my other videos. Maybe you're struggling with a disability, and when that option comes, you're doing it. Please leave that in the comments. I want to read it because I am trying to get this through my head. So they have to implant it. They have to make a circular hole, or a hole the size of the face of a watch, and then they implant this chip inside your brain. But when they did the studies on pigs, a lot of these pigs actually died because they fitted the chip incorrectly. Would you risk that for something else? At first, they said they're going to come out with this chip that's going to help people with disabilities, possibly autism, being blind, all of these other things. But doesn't it always start off very simple, very easy? Oh, it's for your good. And then it has this dark twist, this dark turn that goes somewhere else. Who knows, right? But those are the things that go through my head. Are people for or against this? Are people for the manipulation of our brains and how we think? Think about this. Can they program this chip once it's installed to do things that you might not want to do? Can they program this chip, make you have thoughts that you don't want to think about? Think about programming a robot, and now think about the capacity of what they're trying to do. I would not personally get it installed because messing with the brain, unless you have to go in there, I just would stay away from it. But I wanted your answers. I wanted to understand what you guys think about the benefits of it, or is it something darker? Is it something more sinister that in the long term, this turns into this crazy movie that you're like, oh crap, we always freaking knew You go messing with somebody's brain, and then it can get programmed. And then AI is taking over. And then the robots take over. I want to know your thoughts. I want you to help me out with this one. Think critically. Open up your mind, and I want to hear what everybody thinks about the Neuralink chip with Elon. If you want to continue to grow, to develop your critical thinking outside of the box, looking at things from different perspectives, then stick with me for the next episode. But until next time, peace.